Send it.
Sanding. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna get you to hold this for me.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna go dual.
Stop dicking around, alright?
Stop dual wielding. So little bits at a time.
A little bit. That's about it.
Yeah.
So we can just do that in a circle, we're good. What's that?
You may not have to take it all the way around, yeah?
Oh, you're right. Well, we'll do it.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
It's close.
it's very close. Actually, you know what?
Just hit it in with the hammer.
I'll just, yeah, let's try it out.
Suck it in. When in doubt,
Hammer it out. Don't put that in the video.
and look at that, she ground it all the way around. Didn't hammer at all. Go now.
We could, it might.
If you
Let me just go, I'll go just a little bit more on that one corner,
Okay.
and then we should be all right.
okay.
Because we can also,
Alright.
it'll bolt itself in, right?
Just one sec, I want to see if I can maybe stay. If I can maybe help you get under it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, okay.
Safety squint it. Okay,
Ready?
send it. So here's the issue. We got 2 GoPros that are dead. Still got the SLR that's still going, and I have another battery for that guy. But, like I said, you always figure out there's one thing you forgot, or one thing you didn't have, or one thing you thought would work and didn't. And we have longer bolts, but they're not long enough.
They need to be this long.
And your average hardware store apparently doesn't carry long
It
bolts.
doesn't carry bolts.
They don't like bolts.
So,
Not our fault.
my name is Rochelle Doss Ginger with True Grit Moto. That was cute. Okay, so where we left off on this bike is we installed a 2-inch riser on these handlebars. Now each handlebar is a bit different. If you can see here, this particular riser is just a spacer. With other handlebars that have the sway in the middle, you'll need risers that are connected to that. But for this one in particular, because the handlebars go down and there is no middle bar, we just use these spacers, which you can only get them at LA Choppers.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the way from LA.
Yep. Her handlebars are a 1-inch handlebar, but it had a weld at the bottom. So we got a 1-inch riser, and then we had to grind the bottom weld off to get that 1-inch riser in. You can go to, say, a 1 1/4 or a 1 3/8, just so it fits better. But I think it looks better grinding it down than having a thicker riser at the bottom. I don't know, it just looks a little bit more cohesive, but it's up to you. Next, what we did is we loosened off the brake cable because that was a bit too tight. We loosened off the throttle cable as well as the return cable. And then we loosened off some wires that connected up here to the switches. Now the switch wires came all the way down here. I've plugged them back in already, but these are the wires that we needed to loosen up. It just so happened to work out. Doesn't always work out, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you do have enough leeway on these wires for when you pull the bars up, whether 1 inch or 2 inches or anything further than that. And last but not least was the clutch cable. The clutch cable we did have to extend, but it needed to be replaced anyway because her gasket was gone. Okay, so the next step on what we're going to do here is I've reattached the wires here to make sure that they're good. So those are good. We'll just zap strap those up.
Yeah.
I'm going to lift the tank and put the wires underneath the tank like they are over here. You can see the wires coming in through here. So I'm going to do it on this side as well so it's nice and tight. I'm going to reattach the clutch cable and then we're going to adjust everything accordingly. Again, any bolts that you're loosening and then retightening back up, make sure that they're torqued to spec so that way they don't come loose or you don't strip the bolt as you're pushing it in. These Harleys do rattle and they need more tightening than the average bike. So let's start with the clutch cable. We're going to drop this.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't know if you guys know on your particular bike, whether you're doing it on a Sportster or a Nightster, on the outside here, she's got highway pegs. You can put it on the outside, and then we're going to strap it up, or you can do it on the inside. I'm going to do it on the outside, so that way, because she does have quite a bit of cable here. But if you did it on the inside, you'd have more cable. So
Right.
it's kind of up to you on what you want to do, but you want to take a look for that. And don't forget to put your rubber grommet on. Putting that thing on after is a nightmare.
So we're probably going to have to
Goes
check
right in
turning radius once the bike comes off the lift. Make sure there's enough clutch cable
We'll
to
have to
go
check it again, but
left
you know
and
what?
right.
We just don't want this crammed, right? So maybe what we'll do is we will just leave it out because this is going to be attached like that. And then we'll just have to put it in. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's see if we can
Right
line it
leg?
up.
That's correct.
No, it's too tight in there. You know what? That might have to be it. It's just that right there, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a lot of flow there.
Nice and easy, cool.
All right, yeah, so let's do that. All right, so we're going to drop it on
Oh,
there.
what tool is that?
That's her, that's
Oh.
her lever. It's a little bent, but
Fantastic.
yeah, so we're good on that one.
Well, it's a new tool from Harley.
New tools.
Don't be afraid to use what you have.
All right.
But I've never seen someone do this trick where you use the handle as the pull.
Well, we're just going to loosen this off.
That's pretty smart.
What type of tool is that? Lord love you.
Oh, nice. So it should be no play, eh? Is that plastic?
It is plastic, yeah.
Solid. Quality.
Super solid. Well, if you have metal, sometimes it can catch.
Little bond, eh?
Yeah,
Mm.
so you don't want
Maybe
that.
it's Teflon.
Yeah, it's probably Teflon, yeah.
Is that right?
Should be pretty snug. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Okay, so you have to come in from the left.
Yeah, come in from the left, slide it in, and then you should be good to go.
Nice.
All right, and then the top part, remember there was this circlip.
Oh, yeah.
This clip here.
Yeah.
So we're just going to drop this in here.
Do you want to grease that or just straight back in dry?
I mean, like, we can grease it. Sure, let's give it a little bit of grease. It doesn't really need it, though. I mean, she's got a lot of rust in there, and I'm going to put some WD-40 in this stuff. But
Nice.
here, let's, pass me that greaser, too.
This grease?
It is a good point, though, to grease your stuff.
To make that extra smooth, especially if there is rust in there.
Yes. All right. So before I clip that, let's just make sure it's all good.
Is it 1/4 inch to 3/8 of play? I forget.
I mean, you do want a little bit of play, but with my Harley, I noticed that if you felt that it didn't go in smoothly, but there was at any point any type of grinding, that's when you knew it needed to be adjusted. So I know you don't want to hear grinding, but every bike has been ran a little bit different, and sometimes the torque, like the specs, don't always work. So what I usually do is I usually get it up and going, and if I go to put it in gear and I hear any type of grinding, I'll adjust it.
You want more pull or less pull then? You want it tighter then?
You want it tighter.
Yeah,
You
it's
want
not
it tighter
fully
because then it's not
disengaged.
fully disengaging.
Yeah.
Guys, that's a super important point by a mechanic. She actually rides a Sportster. So Rochelle's giving out some serious knowledge there. It's about feel. There are manual specs, like I was just shown on the screen.
But listen to what she's saying there. If you hear the clunk, there you can adjust it out.
Okay.
So, especially with something, you know, like as used up as this guy here, where her primary oil hasn't been changed and or maybe she hasn't been maintaining it. You know, like,
No offense.
you know, offense. But we'll adjust it to the point where there's a little bit of play there, because you do want some play. And then we'll get it up and going, and when we go to put it in gear, if it grinds at all, we'll adjust it a little bit tighter until we feel a totally smooth transition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But it should be pretty smooth. So we've got this sweet little gadget, and what it does is it goes inside these little pins here, and then as you squeeze it, it opens it.
Fuck. Right there.
There we go.
Yes. But like, buy Snap-on tools. Also, Snap-on, we're looking for sponsorship. If you want to.
Yep, Snap-on. That would be great.
We'll take Mac tools, whatever.
Mac tools. So her clip is back in there.
Sick.
We've adjusted it so far. It's looking pretty good. And when you take things apart, you want to make sure that you're putting everything back the way that you took it out. And you want to make sure you're not missing anything. So if you are going to be taking things out, sometimes what you want to do is take pictures or take notes.
Yes.
It's huge. Because if you forget one small thing, for example, like this little clip, that could be the matter of, you know, your clutch being gone on a long ride.
It's probably a good way to check if that circlip is working is to push on the bottom. And if you can't push that through,
Yep.
your clip's working. If you can push it through, you fucked up.
You fucked it. All right, so we're going to leave this be. Her clutch cable's got lots of play there, which is great. So now I'm just going to lift her tank, and I'm going to put these wires in a...
Yeah. Okay, let me get my knuckles
Sorry, I
up.
was squeezing your hand there. Okay, and then these wires are back here. So all we're doing is I'm just simply pushing the wires into a spot.
Can we get these up?
Let's see here. Am I catching on something over there?
There's not a lot of space to get wire in there, eh? Yeah, you don't want the tank squeezing the wire either.
No, but there is an open space on some of these. So, for example, right here on these bikes, there's an open space in behind here.
Yeah,
for those
nice.
Wires to go.
Nice, yeah.
So you got a nice little spot. So I made sure the wires aren't pinched on this side, so we're good on that side, and I'll make sure they're not pinched on this side.
And throttle cable on this bike goes under that? Or does it go over?
We can put it up and in, but for now, you know what? We're just gonna leave them down here. It's not gonna hurt it because they're just going right through to the other side and then right into here, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna hurt it to have them down there. We're just gonna leave them, but we want to make sure that these wires aren't pinched and they're looking pretty darn good. I'm feeling that we have a pretty good gap in there.
Yeah, we're not gonna rub through.
Nope, and then her pin's gonna go through right there. So we're actually doing pretty good. And then we'll just do the old classy zap and strap once we figure it all out. Get her all ready for Mexico.
She's riding to Mexico?
She's taking the bike to Mexico is what she wants to do. Yeah.
Amazing.
Vito needs to go on here. Now first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip these. Clip this on because we had a... There we go. See, we had a clip here for her. Alright, so I don't have a torque spec for this thing here, but we're going to tighten it to the point where it feels tight, and then we'll go a quarter more. Oh yeah, like a glove.
Nice one.
Grip it and rip it, that's what I like to say.
Grip it and rip it. Go on the other side. You good?
This is a one-woman job.
Fine.
Am I in?
You. It's usually what the guy says.
Is that it? Very good. Am I in? Can you feel that?
Yeah. Oh, is that what the girl says? Are you in?
Are you? Yeah, it's exactly it, yeah. Don't get it wrong.
Okay, getting to tight.
Alright. Doing good?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Okay, and then she had a little cap on this side, so we'll put this little cap back on. Right here. This little cap went back on here, so it looks so spiffy.
Ooh, wow.
Wowza.
Flyby.
Okay. All right, so now we're just gonna clamp her wires back up so they're all good. And she's got a couple of really cool zap strap things going on here. All right, so we've done her clutch cable. We've done her speedo, and next we're gonna do her
Throttle cable.
her throttles. Yeah.
So do you go throttle side or return first?
I do throttle first because return is pointless.
Okay. And you don't want that binding up the operation.
You don't want that binding up. If you pull on return too much, your throttle is going to be weird. Right? So you give it some play, and then you mess with the throttle.
Okay.
She has almost too much.
It's almost a by feel operation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
nice
you can do a handlebar swap and get rid of your controls and just do a single style throttle tube with just throttle, and you just pull the return cable all the way out. Just get rid of it.
And is there?
There's really not a lot of benefits to it. It's just cleaner.
Yeah, totally. But there isn't like a spring release in that throttle tube, then, is there?
All right, so that is perfect right there. So I've done the throttle pretty well. There was...
Oh, yeah. Minimal before you go and then go.
Yep. And you also want to make sure sometimes if it gets sticky, your gripper can sometimes be a little bit too far up and then it's sticking. So...
And you don't have too much surface area to play with either.
No. So we're going to tighten this up. Again, this is all just basic adjusting until we can get on the bike and actually ride it. At that point, you know... You can go a little bit more, but you also, for future, you don't want to ever adjust your clutch warm.
Cold only.
Cold only.
Huh.
Yeah. If you're adjusting it warm, it's not going to be completely right.
Because it's going to expand.
You know, I'm not too sure the science behind it, but there's something about it that it can't be done warm.
Interesting.
Or hot, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that feels pretty good. So we'll leave that. Well, I'm not going to put any of these rubber casings on it quite yet because, again, I need to take it for a ride to completely adjust it.
It's just a good reminder that you need to adjust it.
Exactly, yeah. So this is the same for that. And I did the exact same thing for here as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't put this rubber matting on there quite yet.
Okay.
Okay, so now I've got a good clutch. I've got a good throttle. And then that way when we go to start this bike... when I take it off of the actual bench and I have it out somewhere secure, I go to undo the clutch out of, just to make sure that it's all good. And then when you go to put it into first, if you feel any type of grinding as you go to put it into first, just stop, adjust it a little bit tighter or even a little bit looser, whatever works best for it. You can try tighter first, but go from there.
So also caution, if you do go tighter and you start to bind, that's when your case can break.
Yes.
So do not go too tight.
No, not tight.
Better to go loose than tight.
Yes. Okay.
Hey guys, I'm going to wrap up here for this video. That pretty much covers the handlebar riser install and putting everything back onto the bars. In this footage, we actually shot primary oil change on the bike. We shot full clutch adjustment. Which I'll do separate videos for in the future. And we also adjusted the primary chain, all things that should be done regularly on a Sportster engine or Buell engine or whatever. And yeah, so thanks so much for watching. Please smash the subscribe button, hit the bell, like, comment, all those things. I really appreciate the support. Thanks so much. Cheers.